Hi and welcome to the first in the series of preparing for the Tomb of Sargeras. Now what this series is all about is people who want to push on to the next level in raiding. Perhaps you haven't really been doing raiding apart from LFR and you really want to get into normal mode raiding, maybe as a pug, something like that. You find it incredibly difficult because of course you sign up for a pug and it says achievement please. You say, well, I ain't got an achievement because I haven't been into a raid. Catch 22. Maybe you've been doing some of that and you want to actually get into a guild that, okay, fair enough, first of all, progresses through normal, but then gets on to progressing through heroic. Maybe you actually have done all that already and you want to be getting into a guild that's pushing into mythic. Maybe you're in a guild in mythic, but only the one of those that are going to kill the first few bosses and never get any further, and you sort of feel that you can do better and you want to push on into a guild that's going to actually get the cutting edge achievement. So what I'm going to do in this series is to go through, very simply, the things that you can do to improve your character, to improve your ability to perform in raids, and to demonstrate that you can perform in raids as well. This first one is about gearing and artifact power. Now, it's not the obvious things about, oh, go and do a load of stuff and hope you get Titan Forge and hope you get good legendaries. I'm going to look at the practical things that we can do with the couple of months that we have got, potentially a bit under a couple of months before the Tomb of Sargeras launches. Maybe you've only just started the game, maybe you're switching character, maybe you've had the character for a while but you haven't really done much on it and you really want to get into that raiding and you're going to get a little bit serious about it. We're not talking about spending every hour God sends. So the first thing is legendaries. Now, bit of RNG with the legendaries. Let's say you don't have the legendaries that you really want. What can we really do about that? With 7.2, we have a way of sort of targeting legendaries. Let's say there's a particular legendary that you really want. The best way to target it is to farm nether shards and then go to the Dauntless vendor, the one that, the vendor that offers the expensive ones, the sort of epic quality ones, and get an item in the slot for that legendary. So let's say you want a legendary helm, then you keep getting the helms there. These, why am I doing this? Because these have actually a higher chance of awarding a legendary than a lot of other content in the game. There are various things that award legendaries. And of course, if you are trying to get legendaries whether you're targeting or not, ask yourself this. Are you doing dungeons a lot? Are you doing a fair amount of dungeons? Are you doing all the modes of raiding that you can do? Are you doing every week LFR? The emissary caches every day, turning in your war supplies, all of these things award a chance of legendary and build up your bad luck protection when you don't get a legendary. If there's any of this content that you are not doing, but you have the time to do, then you can't really complain that you don't have the good legendaries because you're missing out because you're not doing the right content. But in terms of targeting, there is sort of a way to do it. It's very hit and miss, of course, but absolutely spend your nether shards on the item slot for the legendary that you really want. If there's a legendary item that you really feel is really important, such as, I guess, the braces for fire mages, that sort of thing, then get that item with the nether shards whenever you've got the nether shards, and you might actually get lucky. It's a way of stacking the odds in your favour. Still a small chance, but it is a chance. Now, when it comes to artifact power, of course, this is absolutely crucial. Are you a long way behind on your weapon? What's a long way behind? By the time Tomb of Sargeras comes out, if you want to get serious about raiding in any organised fashion, you ideally want to have all of the traits filled in. Not the Paragon traits, the Concordance ones, but you should probably have one in that. Now, exactly where we are with that will depend on what level of raiding. Am I going to tell you that heroic raiding guilds are full of players that will all have all of their non-concordance traits filled by Tomb of Sargeras? No, absolutely not. But why limit yourself anyway? Never mind what sort of level you want to get at. The better your artifact weapon is, the more powerful you will be. The greater your output. If you're a DPS, the more DPS you'll do. If you're a healer, the more healing you will do. If you're a tank, the better you'll be able to survive and do more damage as well. All of these things will help you stand out. When you get yourself into a pug, if that's what you're wanting to do, you will stand out as someone, oh, okay, this guy's good. I don't mind inviting them next week. Would you like to come along? If you're trying to get yourself into a guild, much more likely to impress if you're actually producing more output than everyone else. If you're in a mythic guild, it's becoming more expected. You know, there are not going to be many guilds, especially guilds that are going to get cutting edge, that are going to be happy with you if you don't have those traits completed. So now it becomes AP. Oh my god, AP grind. I really can't be arsed. I don't have the time. Sure, okay. Let's think about the sources of AP, because there are a lot of sources of artifact power now in 7.2 that you can do fairly chill. You don't have to be running those Mythic Pluses all the time. I hardly do any. And yet I have got an artifact weapon of 47 going on 48 at the moment as I do this video. So, first of all, there are Mythic Plus dungeons. Bear in mind the quicker ones reward less. So the ones that are expected to take longest, such as Halls of Valor, give you more artifact power at the end of it. So it's not just a case of doing the quicker ones. You also get a decent amount of artifact power from pushing the key. Get the highest level key you can that week. As long as you do at least a 10, are you getting a better item level item from your weekly cache? And you want to do that, get yourself a 10 done every week if you can. But pushing even higher gives you more artifact power from your weekly cache when you open it the following week. But then let's say you've pushed your key as high as you can. Should you really keep pushing the high ones if it's not going to get you any higher with that? Not really. You're actually better off pushing keys that you can do easily with your group. You want keys that you can do where there's moderate challenge. You know you're not going to wipe. The highest level keys that you can do where you know you're not going to wipe. That's the ideal. And of course, where do you get these keys from? Once you've shared them out amongst yourselves, you may have to sort of see if guildies, for example, have keys they want you to help with. Even go onto the group finder, see what you can find there. Get yourself into doing some mid-level keys, because these are nice and efficient. They're a nice, efficient way to get artifact power. Also gear. Remember, the gear, if you do enough Mythic Plus, some of it's going to Titan Forge, and actually that could be a decent upgrade for you just in that. The other thing is that actually just running the base level Mythic dungeons is a good source of artifact power. If you've got an evening where with a group of people, like-minded people, you decide to just go through all of the Mythic dungeons, or most of them, whatever you've got time to do, that's actually a reasonable return because they're fairly quick. If you're going to be ready for raiding, these things should be quite easy for you. Pretty quick, straight through, bang, 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 bang. Now that we've got flying, doesn't even take long to get from like dungeon to dungeon. And you can get those done really quickly. Take flasks, take food, usual stuff. Use potions perhaps, maybe cheaper ones. And you'll get this thing done very quickly. The weekly cache, as I've already said, is a really good source. So that's why it's important with the Mythic Pluses to be pushing as high as you can. Missions and World Quests. This is now a great source of artifact power. With the Order Hall research completed, and if you haven't done that, it's a newish character, it does not now take long to do that. The real barrier with doing your Order Hall research is the Order resources, but the way you do that, again, target any content that awards Order resources. World Quests, when you're choosing your World Quests, choose World Quests that give artifact power, of course, but also choose ones that give Order resources. Once you've got that final unlock on your Order Hall research, all World Quests and missions that give artifact power have a chance for you to get double artifact power. The way it works, you'll never find out till you click the token. So let's say a world quest is worth 1 million AP. So you've got your 1 million AP token. What that research means is that when you click on it, you might randomly get 2 million. It randomly has a chance to double. For me, this seems to happen roughly 1 in 3 times. I wouldn't like to put an exact percentage on it and my small sample size. But certainly what you want to be doing is always do world quests that award artifact power and missions, but especially once you've got that Order Hall research done, because again, you've got a chance to get extra. And that's fairly chill. You can do that now and then. You can do that while you're listening to some music. You can do it while you're talking to someone on Skype. You don't have to do it as part of an organised group. It's dead easy. And again, with flying, it's so much quicker now as well. The other thing you might get involved in if people, like-minded people in your guild, are rated battlegrounds. These can be a decent source of artifact power, especially if, like me, you don't really PvP. That means you're on like virtually no honour level, because every time you go through get an extra honour level, you like get something with it. You get quite a lot of artifact power for going through those levels. Speaking of lots of artifact power, especially now that we've got quite high artifact knowledge, and again, you should make sure that you're putting your artifact knowledge in, really, really important, are the Suramar quest line. Have you completed it? Maybe you haven't. Well, if you haven't, you probably haven't got flying. But that's now worth quite a lot of artifact power with the artifact knowledge we have now. So again, make sure you're pushing that. Raiding itself. Raiding in Nighthold guarantees tokens. Even the other raids can give you tokens as well, so that's worth doing. If someone says, do you want to go along to this pug like Emerald Nightmare or something, go along to it. You know, with the artifact knowledge we get now, for the time investment, it's pretty decent source of artifact power, bit of fun as well. Again, there is a chance something could Titan Forge up, but I wouldn't hold out too much for that. But for Nighthold, it's a guaranteed off every boss. And if you do it for as many types as you can, do it for LFR, do it for normal, do it for heroic, do it for whatever you can get it for. And every time you do it on a different difficulty, you're still getting a new token from it. That can add up to a lot of artifact power as well. So consider, don't think of it as, oh, I have to do all of that as well. Just think of it as, I have a choice. Which ones would I prefer to do it from? Because I don't do all of that. Absolutely not. Why would I? It would do my head in if I had to do all that. I don't even have the time. But think about it. What do you have the time to do on a particular night? Don't wait around for hours for a pug. While you're waiting in a queue, perhaps for a group find or something like that, that's when you go around doing your world quests. Every time some world quests pop up, that awards artifact power, go and do them. Or order resources if you're still collecting those. And that's the way you need to think about it. Don't think of it as a chore. Just think, oh, I've got a bit of time now. What can I do? If there's people that want to do stuff in a group, go and join them. If there's not, go and do your solo stuff. Go and do your world quest. Go and do your LFR. Stuff like that. Chip away at it. Chip away at it. Get yourself to the position where come mid-June, you've got yourself in a situation where your artifact level is complete, basically, with maybe a point in the first concordance, the first paragon point. So hopefully that answers a few questions on some of the things that people want to know in terms of how do they push for higher rating. First one, of course, is develop your character. And I've done this one first because, of course, this is the one that will take the time. You've got 6 to 8 weeks to get this done. The next is going to be on developing your UI. I'm going to go through the philosophy of how to set up a UI and show you the tools that I use to set mine up as well. So I hope you found this interesting as always. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share for further content. And until next time, I'll see you later.